households have been affected by the rains and flooding. And finally, the United Nations says almost 1,000 human rights activists were murdered in Colombia between 2016 and 2025. There's been a rise in violence against these individuals from criminal groups linked to drug trafficking, illegal mining and human trafficking. The BBC's Mimi Swabi has the story.
Since 2016, the year of the peace agreement with the former FARC guerrilla group, there has been a gradual rise in the number of killings. This is primarily due to conflicts involving armed criminal groups in areas previously controlled by the FARC, where the government has struggled to establish a presence. More than 70% of the perpetrators were assessed as non-state armed actors. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, says Colombia remains one of the deadliest countries to be a human rights defender. Rights groups have called for urgent action and have previously criticised the government for not responding adequately to the dangers activists face.
Recapping the top story, the SAWA, the African Transformation Movement or ATM party in South Africa, is calling for an investigation into the reported coronation of a Nigerian king in Gugombo City, formerly known as East London. The party says the move undermines South Africa's laws and traditional leadership institutions. For any news stories you would like to share with us, please do send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I'm Jolani Tulo Mwepe.
SABC News. The African Perspective. On the Move with Benjamin and Palesa every weekday on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Good morning. Happy Friday. It's 9:06 Central Africa time. It's time for On the Move with myself, Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama. It's a beautiful Friday morning. It's a good day to be happy, man. It's a good day to chill.
Always on a Friday.
Right?
Definitely.
And we have so many arty things for you to think about, to talk about, even to do this weekend. And that's what we'll be delving into today. We're going to start off speaking about art, abstract art in particular, but also really going deeper into what abstract art is, how it redefines how we see imagery, lines and movement, with an abstract artist, Tanya Truscott, who'll be chatting to us in the first hour of today's show. And then we move on in the second hour to speak a little bit more about content creation and how things are changing and evolving, but also how you need to evolve with them there as well. We wrap up with an amazing jazz show called Jazz in the Light, speaking to one of the highlight performers tomorrow called Dumza Maswana.
Stay connected to Africa and the world with Channel Africa, the international voice of the South African Broadcasting Corporation. Remember, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere on channelafrica.co.za, our Channel Africa mobile app and SABC Plus app, and via the DSTV and audio bouquets, including OpenView. Channel Africa, first with the African story globally.
Africa Matters. The conversation on climate change and financing Africa's recovery. Only on Channel Africa.
We're proud to announce that Wits Business School is actually our partner. They are hosting us. The second most important thing, though, for me, is that we often go to these summits, these conferences, and you find that you never really know where to find solutions and outcomes that came out of those discussions. So Wits Business School will craft our outcomes document, which will have steps to say what are the follow-ups and how do we measure success and what do we need to do next.
Across the continent, climate change is forcing tough decisions. This is Africa Matters. Get set and be ready to go. On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
Look what the hot body can do. Focus. Look what the hot body can do. Look what the hot body can do. I say, look, focus. Look what the hot body can do. Body be dancing, slow wine, so my body so fine. Dry wash when I made her inside.
Look what a hot body can do. It's Ira Star with Hot Body. 9 Central Africa time right here on Channel Africa.
Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa
On the move.
It's 9 Central Africa time, and if you know a thing or two about On the Move, you know that on Fridays we focus on all things art, and we're doing exactly that just like every Friday here. And we live in a time where sometimes images compete for attention, right? There's social media and all these other ways that are always looking for us, but we're always looking for what looks perfect, polished, designed to be understood at a glance. Perhaps it's an image of a person. You know exactly what you're looking at when you see it. But today we're speaking about abstract art. And Cape Town artist Tanya Truscott is one of those abstract artists. Her practice moves away from clear subjects and easy interpretation and focuses instead on line movement and more instinctive ways of making. And the result of this work doesn't rush to explain itself, but rather invites a more slower approach, a more personal and kind of engagement where you have to really think about what you are exploring. And we're speaking about that exploration of abstract art this morning. Tanya Truscott joins us on the line. Thank you so much for your time, Tanya. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Palesa. Nice to be here.
It's great to be with you today. For those who, you know, a lot of people are intrigued by art, and art comes in so many different forms. It doesn't make one right or the other wrong. It just really is about the eye that's viewing the art that is in front of you. Why did you decide, or what is it in your process of art that makes you create a more abstract kind of visual experience?
I think as an artist, I'm very led by my intuition, and I love experimenting and just playing with my materials, and that naturally leads into a more abstract approach rather than working more representationally.
And so if you were to explain, abstract art to someone who really hasn't interacted with art that much, how would you see it as something different from more of the clearly defined arts? What is it that makes an art piece abstract?
I think when you can't recognize immediately what it is about, then you have to resort to your other senses. And it's a little bit like listening to music without words, perhaps, that you have a feeling about it. You enjoy it for what it is without needing to explain it to yourself. It goes to your feelings, really, and that is more or less what my art also does.
Yeah, I mean, some people say it's just gibberish. It's just an artist pretending that they can actually do art when they can't do art. When you're trying to put across your message on an art piece and someone at a showing says, what is this all about? I'm not getting it. How do you break down those barriers? Because with abstract art, there are many barriers that at times disconnect us from seeing the beauty, but also interpreting it.
Yeah, there is a barrier, and I do understand that, because I think a lot of us feel that we need to get it, and so that we need to get something, and that we need to be able to explain it in words. And I think abstract art goes more directly to your to your other senses, your feelings, maybe your memories, maybe your dreams. Something grabs you in a piece that that you can't necessarily explain, but you like it for some kind of reason. And often there is a connection back to maybe something in your past, or a happy memory, and it appeals to you on a deeper, more emotional level. So I think if you come into an abstract exhibition, then I think one needs to let go of these preconceptions of what art has to look like, and stand still and look around and see if there's something that grabs you, and go towards it, and just stand there and be with your feelings, really.
I'm looking at some of your work that's to be shown in your Without Words solo exhibition at the Sisonke Gallery, and it's pretty moving, right? But also it's the choice of space left, also the incorporation of color here, but also just the selection of the lines, or the friction within the different, permutations that come into the art piece, or that fold into the canvas, right? And I think that's the mystery that sometimes we have to live with in abstract art, that most of it has a sense of the unknown.
Yeah, that's great. It is something that's unknown, in a sense that you don't quite know what it is often that hooks you, if there is a piece that hooks you. And I mean, I do also feel that there are, I go into abstract exhibitions where there is nothing that hooks me, and that's absolutely fine. But but I do always give it time and space in order to really let it work on me a little bit. You do need to be a little bit still with it. And what is on show at Sisonke Gallery is really an exploration into abstraction. And in this case, not drawings with pencil, but drawings with oil paint on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is quite a lot of space left around the drawings, and that's part of it.
Mm-hmm. And also that materiality, the choice of brush, or the choice of where the brush is going to be expressed upon. How important is that as part of that abstract storytelling?
Yes, it's very important. You'll find in my exhibition there are a few quite more colorful gestural drawings where I've used big brushes, and I've used quick movements to explore a feeling or a memory that I have. And then there are other paintings or drawings that are where I've used a very fine brush and worked very, very slowly and very deliberately, and sort of focused more on the line to let it, and it's become more meditative, and it's I focused really on the line and the quality of the line as I was drawing, and it sort of took its own, it created something by itself almost, without me having any sort of direct input in terms of an external impetus like a memory or a dream.
Tanya, we live in a very fast-paced world right now, and everyone is looking for that instant gratification. And sometimes we can take that into how we absorb art as an audience. We go to a gallery, we go to an exhibition, and because we want to see exactly what we're seeing, we move through it so quickly. But when art is abstract, sometimes it needs us to sort of take time, be a little bit more patient. And so many of us are running out of patience right now. So I would like us to take a break while you have that in mind, so that we can come back and speak about taking in art more patiently, and how abstract art actually helps us to do that, especially in this kind of fast-paced environment that we live in today. What kind of art do you like? Do you understand abstract art? Are you one of those people that say, yeah, man, sometimes I look at this piece and I don't get it, but I can feel it, and I don't know how that happens, right? Because sometimes you might not really understand what you're looking at, but it moves you into a certain kind of feeling. And if you're that kind of person who enjoys that kind of visual experience, let us know on +27 83 288 6684. We'll continue this conversation with Tanya on abstract art after the break.
Franschhoek, get ready. The vibe is happening this March. The Monroe Jazz Festival Franschhoek is bringing more than 30 local and international acts for one unforgettable weekend, including DJ Zinke, DJ Kent, DJ Kent Zero, Layla Hathaway, Robert Glasper, and Bilal, plus many more. From 27 to 29 March 2026, experience the music, the culture, and the energy. Grab your tickets now at ticketmaster.co.za. Monroe Jazz Festival Franschhoek. Feel the energy. Live the moment.
9 to 12 midday, Central African Time.
On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
All right, we're speaking to Tanya Truscott, who's joining us today. We're speaking about abstract art. As an abstract artist, she's helping us navigate some of the things maybe we might find separate us from the art itself. And I think, Tanya, you've been doing such a great job making us understand this, because there's a lot of misconceptions, right? Palesa was speaking about time related to the observation of the art. What's your take on that?
Well, I think when if you go to this exhibition, you'll arrive in a very tranquil space. It's in a very beautiful room inside the Cape Heritage Hotel, and it's that in itself already, I think, gives you a moment to pause and to reflect, because even our urban environments are very busy, and we're absorbing things all the time to navigate our environment. And then plus we've got social media where we take either selfies or we document things and we send those to friends and so I think just arriving in that space is already a very nice big break from or transition from that. And yes, and then I mean, looking at abstract art, I think one does have to get into kind of a different space. A space of being curious, of absorbing it quietly without talking, and that is another thing. I mean, we like to explain stuff to ourselves, to our friends, and this is something more internal, and so yeah, it is quite different.
And from your perspective, that slowing down, that pace, that sense of taking time, it's important for the observer, but I'm sure it's also important for you as a creator to find that moment where you are in that creative space where you can actually recreate something that is going to also be attached to your identity as an artist. I always find it very intriguing that as artists, you put something on a canvas, and that's almost like saying, I'm aligning myself with this idea or this mystery.
Yes, well, it's usually a long road. I mean, I think in my case, I mean, I started my work initially. It was representational. It was. And I still do a lot of drawings. For instance, if I'm inspired by a garden, then I will do a lot of drawings that are quite representational in that garden. But I'll also be listening to the sounds. I'll be looking at the textures. I'll be just sitting and taking it in. And when I go into the studio, I take all of that in, and I don't work from the sketches anymore. I literally kind of get into the zone of that feeling of being in that garden. If that was the impetus, and then from there it's really about being in that zone and trying to recall it, and then record that in a way that is not where you're not drawing the flowers.
Does it bother you in any kind of way when people aren't patient with your art? And I mean, you create art to put out there to express whatever it is that you're trying to express. But I always think about whether the artist has a preferred method for the audience to actually take the art in. Do you have that kind of thing? Do you have a method that you prefer the audience to take in your art, or do you just want them to do whatever feels right to them?
I think they should do exactly what feels right to them. But yes, I mean, sorry, I've actually forgotten your question.
I was asking if it does bother you if people aren't patient enough with the art that you've created, perhaps maybe at an exhibition, at a gallery, and they're just moving quickly past it and they're not actually taking time to get the feelings in, to take in the work. Is there a preferred method that you would like your audience to view your art?
Yeah. Look, I mean, obviously, I would love lots of people to be interested in it. And I've had some very nice interactions with people who are interested in it, who kind of get it. The other day I was sitting in the gallery and some guy came in and he stood still and he looked at this long row of abstract drawings and he said, I just hear the music of the Weepies. Now, I don't even know who the Weepies are, and then later on I listened to their music. But he just, he had this immediate connection, and those moments for me, of course, are fantastic. But at the same time, there are a lot of people who walk through the gallery, and as you say, they just take a glance at it and then walk off, and it's not their thing,
Sure.
or they're not willing to really engage with it, and that's fine. I mean, that's just being human.
Mm-hmm. Right now, someone might be rolling their eyes and saying, we're being overindulgent in this idea of abstract art. But we're not speaking about a void here or something that as an artist, you don't have meanings behind it. As much as the title of this exhibition is Without Words, I'm sure you have words for yourself on how you describe this exhibition. How would you try to unpack it for the audience if you were to introduce this work?
I would say that you'll see a variety of drawings here. Some are very lively, very gestural, they're colorful, and they've got movement, and that might appeal to you, and that you might recognize something in it. Somebody else might recognize something else in it, and I find it always quite interesting when I hear somebody say, "Oh, I can see a dove," or "I can see," which I can't see at all. And then there are other drawings in this exhibition where the colors are much more muted, the lines are much quieter, they're much finer, and that has a very different effect on one. I think these are more meditative and yeah. So I would say you don't need to explain this to yourself or to your friends what you're seeing. You can if you want, but it's not necessary to put into words what you're feeling or what you're seeing here. But if it really grabs you, that means there's a hook somewhere toward, in a memory or in a dream or a whatever, and that's enough.
Mm-hmm. All right. Where can we find this work? I find it very kind of hieroglyphic. I'm not quite sure why I do. I don't know why I'm also thinking I'm thinking hieroglyphics when I'm looking at this work for some reason, and I'm even seeing kind of cliffs and edges of mountains, so it's very beautiful pieces here, and I think it's interesting that so many people are even hearing sounds and different interpretations, but that's what abstract art is. It looks different for all of us. Where do we check it out, Tanya?
You can go to 90 Bree Street in Cape Town, in the center of Cape Town. It's inside the Heritage Hotel, and it's called Sisonke Gallery. It's open until the end of May, so you've got a long time to go and see it if you're in the area. Fantastic.
And where do we find you online if we want to have a direct access to you via your social media?
It's at Tanya Truscott with a J, TANJA. TRUSCOTT, or you can find me on my website, which is www.tanyatruscott.com.
Tanya, thank you so much for your time. That's a beautiful conversation, really trying to understand art a little bit more, but also its different expressions and how we can really go about enjoying the art that you and your fellow artists make as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Palesa. Thanks, Benjamin.
That is Tanya Truscott, an artist who creates beautiful abstract pieces inspired by sounds, literature, poetry, and music. You can join in the conversation. We are live on Facebook, Channel Africa, and live on YouTube at Channel Africa 1. It's almost 9:30 Central Africa time. Let's get our latest sports update.
Sports on Channel Africa.
The African perspective.
Let's tee off with golf news. General Manager of Southern Guards, GC, Richard Glover, says the number one objective when the team rebranded was to bring a live event to South Africa. Glover was appointed by Live in 2024 as one of the 5 new team general managers. Speaking exclusively at Steyn City, Glover says it is a proud moment to finally see the vision realized.
Yeah, so I joined Live Golf at the end of 2024 to take on the All South African team, which was used to be called Stinger and now has been rebranded to the Southern Guards GC. And I think our number one objective was to bring a live event to South Africa. I think we realized that as a team that if we were to be successful and really turn this into a business and a brand, we needed a South African event. And it's a very proud moment to actually be standing here and speaking to you about this because, I mean, if you see behind me, you see some of the crowds, you see the gees, and you see there's like the national pride that's just like vibing from this place. It's like a really proud moment.
Glover, on whether Live South Africa is reminiscent of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, says it was an emotional moment to see Louis Oosthuizen and Charles Schwartzel tee off at the first tee.
Oh, I was here for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, and I'm not sure anything beats that. But I must say it was a very emotional moment for us as people and as a team to see Louis Oosthuizen and Charles Schwartzel tee off on the first tee today. Massive crowds. There was a group of people singing the national anthem, so the gees was there, and it was a proudly South African moment.
On to football news. Iranian Football Federation IFF President Mehdi Taj says they will boycott the United States, but not the World Cup. Iran are scheduled to play their group matches in the US this summer's tournament. Iran's Football Federation said this week it had open talks with FIFA about potentially relocating the team's matches from the US to Mexico, though the global governing body has maintained that the tournament's schedule remains unchanged. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum said on Tuesday that her country was prepared to host Iran's first-round matches if required, owing to the conflict in the Middle East. Iran's participation at the finals in the US, Canada, and Mexico has been in doubt since the US and Israel launched airstrikes on the country last month, with Donald Trump warning that the safety of Iranian players would be at risk if they travel to the tournament. On to motor racing. Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur has put his foot down in a bid to prevent any further changes to the F1 start procedure, which has proven contentious at the advent of the new regulation cycle. Early in the campaign, getting off the line under the 2026 rules has been a considerable source of difficulty for the majority of the field, with the Ferrari-powered cars enjoying an advantage. The smaller turbo in the Italian manufacturer's power unit allows it to be spooled up to the correct RPM more easily and consistently, in turn helping produce more effective and reliable launches of the line. It is why Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton have led into the first corner in both Melbourne and Shanghai despite not starting on the front row. Ferrari identified the issue its rivals are currently facing a year ago, and when it brought its concern to the FIA, it was waved away. So the Scuderia adapted and created a power unit that could handle the rigors of race starts. Let's end with 10 athletics. Zimbabwean athlete Fortunate Chivo returns to Two Oceans at the scene of greatest victory. The 2026 Total Sport Two Oceans Marathon will be held on the 11th and the 12th of April in Cape Town, featuring the 56-kilometer ultramarathon on Saturday and the 21.1-kilometer half marathon on Sunday. Though Chizivo may be on the verge of 40, having celebrated her 39th birthday on Monday, There's every chance the top runner from Zimbabwe can produce the kind of performance that saw her win the 2 Oceans Marathon title in 2022. That year, Chizivo fell ill before the start of the race, but somehow managed to lead from the start to finish in what was the biggest achievement of her career on the road. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Fidel Nwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Africa in business on Channel Africa.
The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, says the surge to stronger external fundamentals and a series of policy reforms have helped restore confidence in the currency market. He noted that the improvement reflects increased foreign exchange inflows, more effective reserves management, and a renewed capacity to meet external obligations.
A larger foreign reserves is super good for considering the number of volume of foreign transactions that is being done by Nigeria. So it's a good indication. A second one is that it also gives the country an opportunity to be able to access the foreign reserves when they need it for maybe urgent, maybe infrastructural or any kind of developmental project.
Dennis O'Shea, a certified financial modeling and valuation analyst.
Bringing the African markets into your home. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Palesa and Benjamin fuel your day with fresh African perspective on Channel Africa.
Thank you, Figile. Let's move on and get our latest business news.
Business news on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Good morning, I am Nosipo Zuma. In your business news, the SAWA, Ghana's cocoa industry, is facing a deepening crisis as licensed buyers lack funds to purchase beans from farmers despite a recent government price cut. Now, this is according to sources close to Reuters. Disbursement from market regulator Cocoa Board are reportedly clearing old debts for delivered beans, not funding new purchases. The government cut the fixed farmer price by almost 30% earlier this month, but the new price of $3.797 per metric ton remains above global prices of around $3,200, giving international traders little incentive to buy. Economist Dr. Frederick Kirsten has warned that the increase in electricity prices in South Africa may affect job security, as some small businesses owners may struggle to keep their businesses afloat. Now, the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, has officially approved an 8.76% tariff increase for Eskom's direct customers, effective from the 1st of next month. Municipal customers will face an an even larger increase of 9% starting in July. Kirsten says while larger businesses might be able to find alternatives to mitigate the impact, small businesses may struggle to find solutions.
The small businesses are seen as the lifeline of the South African economy in terms of creating new jobs. They are the innovators, they are the entrepreneurs that come in and want to start a business, start employing people in the area. And then when they fail, then there's those 5 to 10 to 20 jobs that gets lost. And I think that's so important that we need to think about that, as in South Africa, the middle class is very vulnerable. And if you add SMEs to trying to make it, and these vulnerable middle class trying to make it, if they shut down, then a lot of jobs get lost with that.
Glencore's South African ferrochrome unit could walk away from talks with the government over discounted electricity package due to what it sees as unfavorable conditions. The mining and commodity trading company says it requires reduced tariffs to keep its loss-making smelters open and avert job cuts. Now, the government is keen to save the smelters, which employ thousands and are major customers of the state-owned electricity supplier Eskom. Late February, power utility Eskom offered the country's 2 biggest ferrochrome firms, including the Glencore unit, heavily discounted electricity in a bid to rescue their troubled operations. But Glencore has warned that it could walk away from the talks, saying some conditions of the package deal are not acceptable to the company. Facebook is offering larger influencers $3,000 a month to post on the platform as part of its content fast track program. The social media giant, which has over 3 billion users, says the scheme is for creators with over 1 million followers on other video sharing sites, citing Instagram, TikTok and YouTube in the scheme's announcement. Parent company Meta says it paid out nearly $3 billion to creators in 2025 through monetization programs, says Jordan Schwarzenberger, manager of content creators. The segment says the move feels like a desperate move by the social media site. And finally, the head of Qatar Energy, the state-owned company that operates the Ras Laffan complex, says it will take 3 to 5 years to repair the damage caused by the Iranian strikes. Saad Al-Kabi told Reuters that Qatar Energy may not be able to fulfill some agreed gas contracts for up to 5 years. The Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed Al Thani has harshly criticized the strikes.
Unfortunately, this sabotage act only indicates an aggression policy and lack of responsibility and a very dangerous escalation by the Iranians against the state of Qatar after the attack of energy sector by Israel. We have condemned that attack, and the Iranian retaliation on this Israeli attack was to directly attack the state of Qatar.
Your financial indicators: $1 US in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 355, and Botswana is 13 pula 42. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 52, and in Zambia it's 19 kwacha 48. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 rupee 20. Russia is 83 rubles 18. India, it's 92 rupees 71. China, it's 6 yuan 88, and in South Africa $1 is trading at 16 rand 44. $1 is trading at 75 pence to the British pound and 86 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $4,719 and platinum at $2,008 per ounce, while the price of Brent crude oil is at $106.76 a barrel. Now, for any business news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Nusi Posoma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine, weekdays 6 till 9.
As I draw comparisons with Cameroon, a leader that's been there for a long time, opposition dealing with a lot, and legitimacy questions always raised after each election. Are we going to have the same situation in Congo-Brazzaville, where people will say it wasn't free and fair, but there are just no consequences?
In the past, there have been some attempts exactly contesting elections, and all the elections actually in Congo-Brazzaville have been marked by allegations of fraud. There have been contestation in the past, but the result of the contestations actually have only been the imprisonment of the leaders, etc. So I think all the means actually are in a way to control the situation and avoid what happened in Gabon earlier or what happened in Cameroon. So in a way, the situation might be different.
Ramaji Hoinathi, who's a senior researcher for Central Africa and the Great Lakes.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine.
9 to 12 midday, Central African Time.
On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
keeping me holding on too long, too long. Yeah, let me tell you one more time. Tonight, I'm gonna hold you till you cry. Hold you till you cry, Tonight, I'm gonna hold you till you cry. Hold you till you cry,
It's Sipa Hot Sticks Mabuse with Burn Out. It's a beautiful classic.
He was in studio. I think he was with the Upside team.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he's trending his video on our Instagram. So check
Love
out our
that.
Instagram at Channel Africa 1.
Well, yeah, he's a legend indeed. 9:47 Central Africa time. We've been speaking about abstract art. I think it's beautiful to see that more of us are getting into the art world or trying to understand what's going on in art. So just learning a little bit more is fascinating. It's beautiful. I also love to hear Benjamin speaking about art and the materiality and the intersectionality
I
of
didn't
it
say
all. You said
I did not.
I'm just saying, I really enjoy to hear you speak about art when you ask those questions.
Aye.
And tell us about the strokes and the materiality that are used and the paint brushes. I'm like, yes, go Benji.
I do love art, Bali.
I know. But I'm glad that we're all learning together. So if you're someone who's also fascinated by abstract art or just like being abstract in general, because I think it's not just about being into abstract art, but just loving to take time to take things in, right? Because even if an art piece is not abstract, it doesn't mean that it means the same thing to all of us, right?
Sure.
So an image of a woman might feel different to, you know, to us as individuals. But with an abstract piece, there isn't anything that you can immediately attach this piece to.
Yeah.
So you actually have to go into yourself and think about it and say, how does this make me feel? What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What kind of tones am I getting from this? What do the colors mean to me?
Sure.
What does, what do the lines mean to me? And you can just have your own experience. And that's what I love about abstract art.
And art is a reflection of society, right?
Yes.
We never interpret anything as different individuals the same way.
Yeah.
We might see a black cat walking into the studio. We'll all have different
feelings.
interpretations
Yeah,
around
true, yeah.
what that cat means and why that
Hey,
black
Goloi.
cat is here. Some of us are, oh, it's so cute.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Some
And
of us are like,
others
how
are
did
like,
it
this
get
is
in
a
here?
curse.
So we never have any interpretations of any meanings in the same way.
Yeah.
So that's what art does in a very what do you call it, obvious way.
Yeah,
It's
same.
like it shows you that there's no way of seeing one thing the same way.
Yeah, it's the same as well if you see like a cockroach in studio. It's 9:50 Central Africa time. Let's take a break.
We'll all run out of here, wouldn't we?
The rhythm of Africa, the pulse of the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective. Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa 1. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa 1. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. The sound of Africa is evolving. Experience our new mobile app. Free to download, free to connect.
This one I do with the jabata. Me, I no get time, I did da ba da. Dada cover my face, calling me la ba da. Biggie man, we know they wear a ba da. Tell me, my nigga, what's it gon' G-Wagon, all the Bentley, the girl them, ride the whip. I no fit, die for nothing. My nigga, what's it gon' be? G-Wagon, all the Bentley, the girl them, ride the whip. I no fit, die for nothing. Make you no say anything when you do, they must commend it. I can't come and keep myself. So anything when I do, I they try to do on my way. I can't come and keep myself. Plenty so far we face. Just to make sure money day. But my people then go say I know one buy, I know one die, I know one payment. I want enjoy, I want chop life, I want buy motor, I want build house, I still want to know. Tell me, my nigga, what's it gon' G-Wagon, all the Bentley, the girl them, ride the whip, I no fit, die for nothing. My nigga, what's it gon' be? G-Wagon, all the Bentley, the girl them, ride the whip, I no fit. Different things them happening, schemes and packaging. In a one night for shows, I'm juggling. Flow like the ocean, my boat, I'm paddling. Sharashina Pella, that's my bro, my family. Frozen dreams. When it comes to money, I they concentrate. Make I tell you straight, you are not my mate. If you become a shall be head of state. But my people then go say, I know one buy, I know one die, I know one payment. I want enjoy, I want chop life, I want buy motor, I want build house, I still want to know. Tell me, my nigga, what's it gon' be? G-Wagon, all the Bentley, the girl them, ride the whip. I no fit, die for nothing. My nigga, what's it gon' be? G-Wagon, all the Bentley, the girl them, ride the whip. I no fit, die for nothing. Oh no, I burn now.
It's Burna Boy. It's an oldie but a goodie. This one is titled 9:55 Central Africa time. You tuned into Channel Africa. Look, we're speaking about all things art, and we're going to go into a conversation about content creation. But first, yes, I know. If I'm moving too fast for you, you can still speak about abstract art. I'm not moving away completely from that. Go to our social media platforms. Our WhatsApp line is +2783 288 6684. So yeah, we're going to be speaking about content creation. I think it's something that is unavoidable at this time, right? I know we're not all going to be content creators, but we are all creators of some sort, especially if you are on social media.
Sure.
Even if you are a small poster,
Yeah.
you really do want to understand the platforms that you're posting these things on.
Yeah, the world is adapting to that, almost like it's a complementary fold of just like your career as well, and how you maintain and manage that social media platform and that content creation is always going to reflect to either your ethos, it's going to reflect to your sensibilities, but also how people also see themselves with you in terms of aligning with you with work.
Yeah, so I mean, it's an ever-changing world, and content creation and social media changes so much, and it's changing so much right now because, you know, AI is in there. You really want to try and understand what's going on in that landscape. That's what we're doing in the next hour of the show. We're trying to understand that landscape with you. How quickly are things changing? How do we adjust to the changes that we're seeing on these platforms as well?
Yeah, and also the difficulty of that, is it for everyone? Should we all be doing it? And if we are, how do we leverage it to our best advantage? The tricky part is the fact that so much in the social media platform space is changing. It's every day you have to update yourself on what are the latest trends, what is the latest thing that's happening there, the new technologies that are involved, of course, how to use these AI tools, and you're always changing.
Always changing. So let's speak about those changes, especially if you are someone who is particularly interested in social media. If you are a content creator, even more important, because however you were creating content last year might need to change this year because you have to adapt to, the environment of right now, the AI. How is it affecting your creation? How is it affecting your algorithm and how people view the things that you post online? So if you're trying to make a career that is attached to social media, this is a very important conversation for you. But also if you're just the average man who likes to, be on these platforms.
Growing with Africa for 60 years. Channel Africa celebrates 2026 with the African perspective. Africa is moving faster, smarter, further. The conversations are changing. The questions are deeper. The voices are stronger. So, we ask ourselves, what should Africa sound like now?
Not louder, sharper.
Not more noise, more meaning.
Something powerful is coming.
A new standard for the conversation.
A new rhythm for the continent.
I love it. I love it for us. Oh my goodness. Please join us as we celebrate.
The African perspective is evolving. Catch it all next month, Monday to Friday, from before sunrise until long after sunset, only on Channel Africa.
No time to waste.
Be on the move with Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa.
We're wrapping up this hour of the show. Going into the next hour, there's going to be more music, more vibes, and more arty-farty conversations.
I'm not sure about farty. Yes, arty. All right, let's move on. We're moving into the next hour, and we're going to get the latest news. Remember, we're going to be speaking also on music in our final hour. So much is coming up on the show today. But hey, if you are on our live streams, remember we are on YouTube at Channel Africa 1 is the handle, or our Facebook page, Channel Africa. Say hi, holla back at us. We want to know where you listen to Channel Africa from. But right now, let's go back to Joalane and get the latest news.
SABC News. The African perspective.
Thank you, Benjamin. Top stories. The Sawa political party in South Africa calls for an investigation into the reported coronation of a Nigerian king in Gugombo City. And Venezuela replaces the country's senior military commanders. Good morning. The African Transformation Movement, or ATM party in South Africa, is calling for an investigation into the reported coronation of a Nigerian king in the Gugombo city, formerly known as East London. The party says the move undermines South Africa's laws and traditional leadership institutions. The ATM is urging authorities, including Premier Oscar Mabuyane and Home Affairs Minister Dr. Leon Schreiber, to look into the matter. ATM parliamentary leader Vuyo Zungola.
You could declare yourself a king in a place whereby the land has no history, does not belong to anyone. But when we speak about Gugombo, formerly known as East London, that is the land of Amaxhosa, and that is a land whereby currently there is a king there. Now, to have someone coming from Nigeria undermine South Africa as a sovereign country, undermine real leadership in the sense that there is a Xhosa king there and declares himself a king of East London, it is a blatant disregard and disrespect to South Africa as a country, to our institution of real leadership.
The Activists and Citizens Forum in South Africa is demanding an investigation into possible corruption by a top official at the Moshatama prison in Pretoria following allegations of a close relationship with alleged cartel member Vusumuzi Cat Matlala. This after Lieutenant General Dladla Mkhwanazi told a parliamentary committee that Matlala received preferential treatment, including access to a cell phone while at the facility. Matlala was transferred to a maximum security prison in Kokstad in the KwaZulu-Natal province in December. Matlala is a tender tycoon and criminal suspect known for his involvement in large state contracts. Activists and Citizens Forum spokesperson Dennis Bloom.
We are not surprised by what General Dladla Mkhwanazi told the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee, that a senior head of CMEX in Pretoria is giving Cat Matlala preferential treatment above all other inmates there, awaiting trial inmates. That is totally wrong and unacceptable. That's why we are calling for the minister to immediately suspend this head of Moshatama.
The South African government has granted Muslim marriage officers the same permanent status as other religious leaders, ending a long-standing disparity in the certification process. Under the new Department of Home Affairs directive, certified officers are no longer required to reapply for their credentials every 5 years. Meanwhile, the South African Muslim network SAMNET welcomed the decision as a critical milestone for multiculturalism and the removal of hysterical prejudice. SAMNET's chairperson is Dr. Faisal Suleiman.
Since 1992, the process for Muslims has been painful and led to unnecessary complications and obfuscation and making just administratively the whole marriage process very difficult. And it's fantastic. Our theological bodies have worked hard with the training of marriage officers and the fact that now they can, everyone's on an equal footing.
The British government has agreed a deal with Nigeria to make it easier to remove people with no right to be in the UK. For the first time, the Nigerian government will recognise UK letters, an identification docket issued to individuals with a valid passport. This means people will no longer have to wait for emergency travel documents to be issued before they can be returned. The agreement was struck during President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's state visit to the UK. Prime Minister Keir Starmer hailed the president's visit, the first by an African, a leader of a West African nation in 37 years, as historic. Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, has replaced the country's senior military commanders a day after she brought in a new defense minister. It's the latest change at the top of the Venezuelan establishment since the United States military captured President Nicolas Maduro in January. The BBC's Olivia Moon reports.
Ms. Rodriguez, who previously served as Venezuela's vice president, has been cooperating with President Trump ever since the US ousted her predecessor. She was backed by the White White House for the position and faces the challenge of uniting her country while trying to keep both Washington and those loyal to Mr. Maduro on side. The interim leader said the new military command would guarantee the peace, territorial integrity and sovereignty of Venezuela. The country's military is a powerful entity that oversees oil production, mining and food distribution.
Recapping the top story this hour, the African Transformation Movement ATM party in South Africa is calling for an investigation into the reported coronation of a Nigerian king in Gugombo City, formerly known as East London. The party says the move undermines South Africa's laws and traditional leadership institutions. For any news stories you would like to share with us, please do send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I'm Cholani Tulo Wepe.
SABC News. The African Perspective. On the Move with Benjamin and Palesa every weekday on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
6 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. We're moving into that second hour of On the Move. We're speaking about creating content right now. What does the landscape of that look like today? How are things shifting? And are they shifting too quickly for us? And how do we adapt to it? Our friend Audrey Imbayago is back, social media specialist and digital marketer. It's going to be a good conversation.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it, especially if you're someone who is into content. This one is certainly for you. So stay with us right here on Channel Africa, at Channel Africa 1 on our Facebook page, and at Channel Africa, and in fact at Channel Africa 1 on all our social media platforms. But on Facebook, you can find us on simply Channel Africa, streaming live on our Facebook and YouTube pages. But of course, you can engage us on all those platforms. Stay connected to Africa and the world with Channel Africa, the international voice of the South African Broadcasting Corporation. Channel Africa, first with the African story globally.
What if God didn't? What if I had never been blessed beyond limits? What if I was always depressed and not living? What if Squatter Campus Khaled was unwritten and all I ever had to reflect was Bob Dylan? Josiah just decided to rest and not finish. Sia wasn't up to the test and not winning. Shabalala said in his head he can't hit it, but foot it's all relative-ish. What if Tyler just decided to wait? What if Keenan couldn't stomach the hate? What if Booger Love had never been saved and still in love with the game? It's all you fade. What if Eminem had stuck with the 9 to 5? If Chester wasn't playing in 95? If Philemon, my singer, was called offside and Doctor was injured, would you have ever seen Barker fly? And Brenda Fussy wasn't obsessed with show business, and all the Winnie wanted was checks and more children. And Costa said, you niggas correct, we not women. Jabba didn't fuck on your vest, they can't siblings and son. I stand steady on business and everything that I've done. I can't imagine my diva not being a prodigal son. I left Komani with vision and now I'm back as a young. What if? Mama, and where would I be now? Mama, and where would I be now? What if I was young and DJ and not chief? What if I was never prepared to love me? What if I was thinking of death and not peace? Cold heart, living with fear and can't breathe. What if I didn't move with the north side? If I had a problem being cool with a horse ride? I couldn't do what we all like. If I never knew Ngulungu na macho swam. And all our time was it missed me. I'm focused on my daughters and my son and they miss me. If Zuma wasn't part of the big three, if Solomon Matango had quick feet, if Tito ain't decided to give me a gift, you gotta think about it. What if everybody tried to forgive? If I had not inspired a generation of writers to celebrate Amalanga.
This song is a beautiful song. Younger Chief with What If Mngani, almost 10 past 10 Central Africa time.
Download the SABC app and take Channel Africa with you everywhere you go. Africa. It's time to plug into the heartbeat of the continent. Tune in to Channel Africa, your go-to radio station that broadcasts in 5 different languages.
L'Afrique du Sud célèbre la journée nationale du
Kabla hujaitwa kwa jina la Double K
or more of our forests have been destroyed. Tamo kutuli bwanji ndi
Partido Africano da Independência da Guiné.
See, Channel Africa represents every corner of this amazing land. From Lagos to Cape Town, Nairobi to Dakar, we've got you covered with the freshest news, music, and cultures. So, turn up the volume, feel the rhythm. And join the conversation. Africa, the African perspective.
África. Conhece o Ntivani?
Claro que sou eu.
Ntivani é o amante da música de corpo e alma.
Eu amo música africana.
Ele aprecia todos os tipos de melodias e passa os seus dias a ouvir a Channel Africa. Adivinha só? Channel Africa quer ajudar o Ntivani e os amantes da música em todo o lado a descobrir ainda mais música incrível. Por isso, a Channel Africa está a convocar artistas africanos a submeterem as suas músicas. Músicos, lembrem-se de nos dar todas as informações relevantes no music@channelafrica.co.za. As submissões são a vossa oportunidade de ser ouvidos, mas não garantem inclusão na lista. Todas as submissões serão cuidadosamente analisadas para verificar se cumprem os requisitos da nossa estação. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Step into the heart of the day on the move with Palesa and Benjamin.
All right, for anyone creating content, you must know by now that things are always evolving, things are always shifting, and we always give you an update on content creation on a Friday show. Just a few months into 2026, we're seeing new patterns emerge. AI is becoming one of the central things for creative processes. Audiences are more selective, and the kind of content that drives real growth is also changing. To help us on the latest trends, we're joined by Audrey Imbayago, social media specialist and digital marketer. Audrey, welcome back, our friend.
Thank you so much, Benjamin.
Oh, look, we always invite you back because of that energy. We really love it. What are you seeing as the most interesting shift right now in what's happening in content creation?
The best thing that's happening is finally they are showing people exactly what they want to see. That means as a content creator or as a brand, you have control over what people see about you, and your failure is totally in your hands. At the same time, your success is totally up to you as well.
Expand on that. I mean, how is that working? And is it because we are depending more on algorithms, or is it because the content creation is moving into what is being demanded?
All right. So one thing we have to understand is that the algorithms are always changing, and with AI and the platforms using more of AI, especially on TikTok and Instagram, you realize that as much as they say you have control over your For You page and the algorithm, it also means that they are using AI to make sure that you get the best experience, because the amount of work it takes to then make sure that people are getting that experience takes a lot of coding, and it takes a lot of capital that humans can't just put into. However, at the same time, as much as we do rely on algorithms, we also have to be cognizant of the fact that they're trying to compete. So each time they change something to be better for us, it also means that we also get a better experience. Now, with giving us control over the algorithm, what we're doing essentially is that we get to then do what we want. We watch what we want. We tell them what we want to watch, and they push that content to us. it doesn't mean that people don't then get to watch new content. They still get to watch new content. New creators still come up on their For You pages. They still watch their old creators. However, it's a bit more controlled now. It's a bit more specific. We have an issue on social media where we're now creating silos, where you just have a whole platform that has content that people are just scrolling through and you can't really see exactly what you're watching. But the moment they do this, it means that, remember how back in the day, if you loved content creation based on a certain creator or a certain topic, you'd always then find that they would try and give you that same content, the same creator. So they're essentially going back to what they used to do, just a bit different and faster now.
Things change so quickly, Audrey, in the social media space, especially now with AI in there. We'll all sort of get confused if you're trying to, build something through social media or just increase, your social media footprint. Where do you start? How do you learn the changes that are constantly taking place?
First, the good thing is to follow for Instagram. I know you can follow the CEO of Instagram. They really tried to market their platform by having the CEO himself talk about the brand and the platform. So you get your updates there. But for the other platforms, there's specific creators that they work with to push out this content. Like myself, for example, I get my content from various creators that I already know who get updates directly from TikTok or Instagram on Facebook or YouTube, and you get these updates, and then you then push it out to your own audience as well. I then translate it to the languages that my audience can understand, which is English and Shona mainly. But with other people, they then try and break it down to be a whole holistic topic, and they give you the technical side of things as well, where it's more complex to understand. But that's where you get all of these updates. And if you follow such creators, you'll be able to almost stay up to date on such things. Then if you realize that your platform is not doing that, just try as much as possible to just search up maybe once a week updates to this platform and see what people are saying about it. That's another way to know what updates are on the platforms.
Mm-hmm. And that's such a critical thing that you've just mentioned, staying updated. But also, how important is it to check how your platforms are doing, going back to the data and mining it and making sure that you adapt to that information you're getting?
All right. So each platform and each brand, I'm assuming you're trying to talk about from a brand perspective. If you're a business and you're trying to reach people,
yeah,
your analytics are always important. One thing I've noted that people do, which is a huge mistake when it comes to mining the data of their people, is, let's say, for example, you want to create ads. They then say, even if your audience is 80% women and the women are between 34 and 65, you'll find that a lot of people are even doing ads when it comes that target people that are all women, all men at the age of 18 and 65, which is totally wrong. So you really do need to look at your analytics as per platform, not just your product. But if you put together all of those analytics from each platform, you're also able to see who exactly is your target audience and who exactly is buying, and your targeting gets better. You don't waste money on people that are just never gonna buy.
All right, Aubrey, let's take a short break. We will come back and continue speaking about the changes that we're seeing on social media. And if there's something that has worked before, perhaps it's time to look at whether that still works now in 2026. And of course, moving forward, we'll continue speaking to our social media specialist and digital marketer, Audrey Imbayago, after the break. Stay with us here on Channel Africa. Have your say as well. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can go there and give us your comments right there, and it's immediate. We'll chat to you there as well.
Keeping you on the know and on the move.
Zilipendwa
na Abedi Jean de la Croix.
Historia msikilizaji ya Valentine Day au siku ya wapendanao ilianzia katika nyakati za kale za dola la Roma. Watafiti wengi wa historia wanaamini kuwa siku hii inahusishwa na sherehe za kipagani zilizokuwa zikifanyika kila mwaka katikati ya mwezi Februari. Msikilizaji, sherehe hizo zilijulikana kama Lupercalia na zilifanyika kuadhimisha uzazi, upendo na mwanzo wa majira ya kuchipua.
Zilipendwa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati hadi saa 1 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Keep Africa in your hands. Connect to our website for all your news, sports, and cultural updates. channelafrica.co.za.
When it comes to social media, what's working right now? What's already falling away? And how can creators position themselves for growth on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and the likes? Audrey Imbayago continues this conversation with us. Audrey is a social media specialist and digital marketer. Let's speak about that. You might have started some kind of a career online last year or the year before. So just recently, in the past few years, and you've noticed that you're just not getting the same traction as you used to, but the formula that you had was working. What are the kinds of things that you think are falling away right now, Audrey, which could be the reason why you're not getting as much attention as you used to?
The first thing that people need to be aware of is that we have too many creators now, way more than we had before. A lot of people are creating content. However, the thing that's going to make you viral is not the followers that you were getting. A lot of people think, oh, followers matter. A lot of people think, oh, if I have 1,000 followers, I'm not going to get views. However, it's about listening to what people say. You know, I always say, look at what people are saying in your comments and try and understand what they're talking about, then create content around those things. What it essentially does is you've created one piece of content, it generates views, a few views, but you already don't really know what people want to watch. So your next video has to be a tangent of that previous video. If you find something, that one thing that works, keep doing it, keep repeating it until it's not working anymore. And when it stops working, you change your content, you keep trying again. The moment you start creating content for your audience, not for yourself, because we have this issue where we create content and we think, I'm thinking, oh, if I make videos around how to create ads on social media, people are very interested in that because people are not doing it right. But is it really what people want to watch? People want to watch how to make money using ads on social media. And I structure the same topic just in a different way to make sure that my audience then wants to watch it and gets value from it. Even if you have to repeat the same thing over and over and over again, it's okay. As long as they're still engaging, keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. What I'm enjoying, Audrey, is AI-generated content. I mean, I'm always having a big ball and a laugh just by myself seeing, a Donald Trump down a fashion, fashion in a fashion house wearing a woman's item, or just these funny stuff that's coming out. But there's no set rules when it comes to AI generated content. It's still in this kind of comedic point right now, and it's really generating a lot of following. What's your take on AI generated memes and portrayals? Because we find them funny, but we don't know the legal implications around creating them.
You know what my favorite piece of content is when it comes to AI?
Tell me.
Bananita and
and strawberry. Look, let's not start it. Because that strawberry, let me tell you something.
This is Palesa stuff. I know, she loves this stuff.
Audrey, this stuff is hilarious. We know it.
Yes. Oh my. Now you see how funny it is?
Yeah.
Now imagine this. So AI is beautiful when it comes to content creation. I am so happy that Econet, that's a Zimbabwean company, Econet, they are going to venture into creating more languages that are understandable by tech that are local to Africans. Of course, they're starting in Zimbabwe, but I'm hoping that in the countries where they are, like Kenya and Zambia, they can then take our languages so that we can also have platforms that understand how we speak, and we can create content using AI for our people that is understood by our people and compete on the market. So I love AI. I love where it's going. I love the opportunities it is creating. Yes, it's a dangerous platform. There's so much that could go wrong. However, the opportunities, especially for Africans, are so beautiful. Now, for social media specifically, I know some platforms are trying to introduce using AI to then respond to comments and all of that. I appreciate that because remember the phase when people were all buying followers and there was just a rush to buy followers and followers were a
Yeah.
thing? Now, the issue I had with those platforms, even if they could sell us the comments, followers don't matter anymore, but it's the comments, it's the likes. The likes are okay, but now automated likes don't count as good engagement anymore. It's just, oh, people liked your post. But if AI can be used to respond to comments and say exactly what we want to say, it's going to be beautiful. We're going to be able, as social media managers, we're going to be able to then say, I can respond. Our one video went viral. We can respond to every single person with just one typing, and we don't have to burn out our teams just to respond to people. But at the same time, it also means that people are going to pick up on it. Sometimes you can pick up on AI, and that means we're going to tap into more of our local languages. You're going to see people trying to speak more in Shona and Ndebele, Xhosa, and Zulu, just trying to make sure that people then hear what they're trying to say and not trigger that AI response just to run away from it. So, as much as it is good, it's going to come with its downside, and it's just a matter of managing the whole situation. But is it good? Yes. Is it perfect? No. But does it have so much potential? Yes, it does.
Audrey, as we wrap up, what is the best way to position yourself in 2026 at this very moment on social media? I know there'll be different strategies depending on what kind of platform you're trying to create or audience you want. But if it comes to some of these important trends that we spoke about today, what would be the perfect way to position yourself online?
Authentic. Be as, you know what, authenticity will never get old, ever. Be as authentic as possible. However, you need to be skilled as well. It doesn't pay anymore to just be someone with a camera and you're being authentic. Now people are investing in content so much. You need to make sure that it's high quality. Even if you're using your phone, do you know how to edit your content to be high quality? People have shorter attention spans. Do you know how to make sure that people stay connected to your piece of content? Long form content is coming back because yes, people like short form, but especially if you're teaching people things, you need to find a way to do a storytelling whilst teaching people, at the same time making it longer and keeping attention. So all of those things come through. But you know what I like the most about this? It is bringing back essentially pre TikTok vibes. Before we had Instagram for short form content and YouTube for long form content, yeah? And those platforms would then say, okay, YouTube, you needed to have the skill to edit to make sure it's high quality. And with short form content, you just made sure that it was aesthetic enough, it was looking cute, it was looking very well done.
Sure.
We are back to that season
All right.
where you need to invest.
Okay, Audrey, so many things are happening. And,
Yes.
I think it's coming back to that whole thing because it's such an oversaturated space. Just be authentic. And I think that's great advice from you there. And also, thank you for all the advice you've given us. Audrey, where do people find you online?
People will find me on TikTok or Instagram or LinkedIn where I am the creative marketer, or Audrey Imbayago. If you search that, you'll definitely find me.
All right. Thank you so much, Audrey. Always fun. And thank you for bringing your bubbly personality into Channel Africa. That's Audrey Imbayago, social media specialist and digital marketer. Let's move on right now. Let's get our sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Let's kick off with football news. The world's governing body, FIFA Council, has approved groundbreaking regulations to reshape the future of women's football, requiring female representation in team leadership across all FIFA women's competitions. From this year, every team must include at least 2 female staff on the bench, with one serving as head coach or assistant coach. The rule will debut at the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Poland this September and extend to all youth, senior, national and club tournaments, including the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. The initiative forms part of FIFA's wider women's football strategy, which has already supported nearly 800 female coaches worldwide through scholarships, mentorships and development programs. And still with football news, Iranian Football Federation IFF President Mehdi Taj says they will boycott the United States but not the World Cup. Iran are scheduled to play their group matches in the US in this summer's tournament. Iran's Football Federation said this week it had opened talks with FIFA about potentially relocating the team's matches from the US to Mexico, though the global governing body has maintained that the tournament schedule remains unchanged. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum said on Tuesday that her country was prepared to host Iran's first-round matches if required, owing to the conflict in the Middle East. Iran's participation in the finals is the US, Canada and Mexico, and has been in doubt since the US and Israel launched airstrikes on the countries last month, with President Donald Trump warning that the safety of Iranian players will be at risk if they travel to the tournament. General Manager of Southern Guards, GC, Richard Glover, says the number one objective when the team rebranded was to bring a live event to South Africa. Glover was appointed by Live in 2024 as one of the 5 new team general managers. Speaking exclusively at Stein City, Glover says it is a proud moment to finally see the vision realized.
Yeah, so I joined Live Golf at the end of 2024 to take on the All South African team, which was used to be called Stinger, and now has been rebranded to the Southern Guards GC. And I think our number one objective was to bring a live event to South Africa. I think we realized that as a team that if we were to be successful and really turn this into a business and a brand, we needed a South African event. And it's a very proud moment to actually be standing here and speaking to you about this, because, I mean, if you see behind me, you see some of the crowds, you see the gees, and you see there's like the national pride that just like vibing from this place. It's like a really proud moment.
Glover, on whether Live South Africa is reminiscent of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, says it was an emotional moment to see Louis Oosthuizen and Charles Schwartzel tee off at the first tee.
Oh, I was here for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, and I'm not sure anything beats that. But I must say it was a very emotional moment for us as people and as a team to see Louis Oosthuizen and Charles Schwartzel tee off on the first tee today. Massive crowds. There was a group of people singing the national anthem, so the gees was there, and it was a proudly South African moment.
We end with athletics. Zimbabwean athlete Fortunate Chizivo returns to Two Oceans at scene of greatest victory. The 2026 Total Sports Two Oceans Marathon will be held on the 11th and the 12th of April in Cape Town, featuring 56-kilometer ultra marathon on Saturday and the 21.1-kilometer half marathon on Sunday. Though Chizivo may be on the verge of 40, having celebrated her 39th birthday on Monday, there's every chance the top runner from Zimbabwe can produce the kind of performance that saw her win the Two Oceans half marathon title in 2022. That year, Chizivo fell ill before the start of the race, but somehow managed to lead from start to finish in what was the biggest achievement of her career on the road. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Figile Ngwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
Malawi's President Peter Mutharika has directed that a fresh inquiry be conducted into the plane crash that claimed the life of former Vice President Saulos Klauser, political analyst Undule Mwakasangula. Undule, what are they politically and institutional factors that may have influenced President Peter Mutharika's decision to order a fresh inquiry into the crash?
Let me start by saying that the death of the former president and 8 others was a painful national tragedy. You know, public trust is very important. If people feel that the first report left gaps, the president may believe that a fresh inquiry could restore confidence and provide closure. So the decision by the president may be influenced by public pressure, but also the need to rebuild trust in the state institutions.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. Palesa and Benjamin, fuel your day with fresh African perspective on Channel Africa.
Let's move on and get our latest business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Good morning, I am Nosipho Zuma. In your business news this hour, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says a rogue criminal justice system can be detrimental to the country's economic growth and job creation. He says the value of commissions such as the State Capture Commission and the Madlanga Commission probing allegations of corruption and mismanagement in the police will soon be realized by many South Africans. Ramaphosa was speaking at the On the Record Job Summit in Cape Town yesterday. The two-day summit convened under the theme 5 million jobs in 10 years, bringing together South African business people and civil society representatives to discuss solutions to create more jobs. Ramaphosa says a high crime rate can discourage businesses from investing.
What Madlanga Commission is doing is giving us a great opportunity to overhaul our police system, our criminal justice system, to clean it out, to get all the thugs and the rogues out of the system, because in the end, passive crime, which has been happening, breeds fear and mistrust. It has both a devastating human cost and a direct economic impact as well.
Economist Dr. Frederick Kirsten has warned that the increase in electricity prices in South Africa may affect job security, as some small businesses owners may struggle to keep their businesses afloat. The National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, has officially approved an 8.76% tariff increase for Eskom's direct customers, effective from the 1st of next month. Municipal customers will face an even larger increase of 9% starting in July. Kirsten says while larger businesses might be able to find alternatives to mitigate the impact, small businesses may struggle to find solutions.
The small businesses are seen as the lifeline of the South African economy in terms of creating new jobs. They are the innovators, they are the entrepreneurs that come in and want to start a business, start employing people in the area. And then when they fail, then there's those 5 to 10 to 20 jobs that gets lost. And I think that's so important that we need to think about that, as in South Africa, the middle class is very vulnerable. And if you add SMEs to trying to make it, and these vulnerable middle class trying to make it, if they shut down, then a lot of jobs get lost with that.
Ghana's cocoa industry is facing a deepening crisis as licensed buyers lack funds to purchase beans from farmers, despite a recent government price cut. Now, this is according to sources close to Reuters. Disbursements from market regulator Cocoa Board are reportedly clearing old debts for delivered beans, not funding new purchases. The government cut the fixed farmer price by almost 30% earlier this month, but the new price of $3.797 per metric ton remains above global prices of around $3,200, giving international traders little incentive to buy. Facebook is offering larger influencers $3,000 a month to post on the platform as part of its content fast track program. The social media giant, which has over 3 billion users, says the scheme is for creators with over a million followers on other video sharing sites, citing Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And the scheme's announcement, parent company Meta says it paid out nearly $3 billion to creators in 2025 through monetization programs, says Jordan Squatzenberger, manager of content creators. The Sidman says the move feels like a desperate move by the social media site. And finally, a number of Gulf countries again coming under attack from drones and missiles fired by Iran. In Kuwait, a local media reports that multiple drone attacks have accused a fire at the Mina al-Ahmadi oil refinery, leading to the closure of several of its units. The UAE and Bahrain said they were dealing with a fallout of similar attacks. The BBC's Nick Marsh has the details.
The long-term picture is looking pretty shaky. We've just had reports out of Kuwait about an attack on one of its refineries. Attacks are still happening on infrastructure, the Strait of Hormuz, and plans to somehow get traffic moving through that more freely. If that happens, that'll be a huge relief. But if the attacks on the actual infrastructure continues and it continues to wipe out output capabilities like we've seen in Qatar, then you've got a even more serious long-term problem when it comes to the global energy supply.
Your financial indicators: one US dollar in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 355, and Botswana is 13 pula 42. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 52, and in Zambia it's 19 kwacha 48. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 rupee 20. Russia is 83 rubles 18. India is 92 rupees 71. China is 6 yuan 88, and in South Africa $1 is trading at 16 rand 44. $1 is trading at 75 pence to the British pound and 86 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $4,719 and platinum at $2,008 per ounce, while the price of Brent crude oil is at $106.76 a barrel. Now, for any business news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Nosipho Soma.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Franschhoek, get ready. The vibe is happening this March. The Monroe Jazz Festival Franschhoek is bringing more than 30 local and international acts for one unforgettable weekend, including DJ Zinke, DJ Kent, DJ Kent Zero, Layla Hathaway, Robert Glasper, and Bilal, plus many more. From 27 to 29 March 2026, experience the music, the culture, and the energy. Grab your tickets now at ticketmaster.co.za. Monroe Jazz Festival Franschhoek. Feel the energy. Live the moment.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
Oh yo yo yeah 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 yeah. Oh yo 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 yeah yeah yeah. What you do me you don't try. You told me baby we outside. I fed yet in a bay I'm sorry na kabi be tell me why. And then you know me a day online waiting for your text so I know fi I. Nkaba mama post a goodbye. I didn't yanchi I want my style, but I forgive you. Na kwa ukwe. Ya me fa ukras yeah yeah. You know say I got you. And stop crying, Jai sweet. Sleep well, my lover. I will be fine, my lover. And my love for you be forever. My brain, konya mede. Ojami wako seke teke. I didn't run me, I come in the Timi panati na ye me say ye. My brain, konya mede. Ojami wako seke teke. I didn't run me, I come in the Timi panati na ye me say ye. You for tell me how he did. For paradise, so drag, I said, these are blessings for your man, na me pray. paradise, some flag, I said, you for tell me how he did. From paradise, some flag, I said, peace and blessings for your man, na me pray. From paradise, some flag, I said, it's ya fraud, don't, ya maso. It's ya fraud, don't, ya maso. At an early age, I used to suffer. My first love, my lover. Tell me walk of At an early age, I used to suffer. My first love, my lover. Then I jam you walk. My prema, konya mede. I jam you walk or seke teke. I didn't run me out come dead. See me panati na ye me say ye. My prema, konya mede. I jam you what is seke teke. I didn't run me out come dead. See me panati na ye me say ye. You for tell me how he did. For paradise, sound like I said, peace and blessings for your man, na me pray. From paradise, sound like I said, you for tell me how he did. For paradise, sound like I said,
It's Black Sheriff. This one is Oh Paradise or Paradise, as Black Sheriff says. It's 10:45 Central Africa time. We're speaking about the changes of social media. It's so hard to keep up. It's so hard. It's so hard to keep up. I find it so challenging. Honestly, I don't want to lie.
You just don't want to do it. Don't lie.
It's so hard. It's so hard, Benji. I promise. It's so hard. Look, I really do want to do it, right?
Okay.
I really do want to do it, and I try here and there. But I don't know. I think there's it's a personality thing. I don't know, because I find there's a disconnect somewhere. Also, because things are always changing. When I'm trying to catch up to this particular thing, because I'm trying, right? I'm like, yes, I'm going to try harder. This is my time to try harder. So I try harder and things go well, but then things start changing. I'm like, what changed now? What is it? So it really is a learning curve, and you have to be committed, I think, to the learning of it all.
Sure.
Especially if you want to be a content creator, you have to be dedicated to continuously want to shift and learn with what's going on these platforms.
That thing about Lanako, it wants time, and it needs you to actually follow even your page and be dedicated to it 24/7.
It's so hard.
And it's not easy, not at all. So you have to have that commitment and just keep experimenting, try different ways, Bali. If one thing doesn't work, try another thing. Add some music, Faradi Popeye,
and some bananita and strawberryta. I don't even know how they do that. It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
But it will get you. You know those AI things I watch. I love them so much.
Yeah.
I like the ones where it's usually like the Nigerian ones. There's a storyline. There's like someone is cheating on someone.
Yes.
These ones get married. This one wants to marry a new wife. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
And it's like the same storylines, but now these are like AI fruit characters that are doing the same things. And you're like, but Anita is so wrong for this. I can't even look at fruits the same way anymore with these AI storylines. And I'm like, oh, poor Bananita. Let me tell you what happened, right?
Sure.
For real, right? But Anita was dating, was it Mango? Was dating a Mango, right? And then they were poor. They weren't doing that great. But Mango was going through law school, right? And Mango was trying hard to get through law school. So that they were going to go together. What did Bananita do? Bananita sold her peels, her banana peels.
Yes.
And she sold them and she gave them to the money to Mango so that he could go through law school and raise them up as a twin, right?
Out of poverty.
Yes. So now she's brown. You know what happens when you peel a banana, right? It goes all brown inside. Don't laugh. It's a serious story. It goes all brown inside, right? Yeah. And now she's brown. She's all raggedy. She's browning. She's almost like dying, right?
Blancha.
Because she's helping their collective, the couple, right? And then Mango takes the peels from Bananita, and then he becomes this big lawyer. Now he has money. And then Bananita comes, we finally made it. But did he? No, he brought in Strawberryta. And now,
makes sense, though.
Now he's successful. Now he's successful. He throws Bananita out and says in his mansion he's going to stay with Strawberryta.
Makes sense.
That doesn't make sense. It's not fair.
Who wants
So
a
what
brown
I'm doing now
banana?
when I'm buying my bananas, I'm peeling them and trying to give the peels to Bananita so she can rise again. You know, you can do it, Bananita. I promise.
I knew this was going to get you. I knew this is going to get you.
Let's open a go-to page for you page for Bananita and get her peels back so she can rise again.
All right. Are you adapting to social media changes or are you struggling? Let us know on our WhatsApp number. So many things happening, right? And so we need to make shifts according to that if we are content creators. And everyone can have that opportunity to be a content creator. So it's for everyone. Let us know and we'd love to hear from you.
On the Move, weekdays, 9 a.m. to midday. Only on Channel Africa. #On the Move. Late night with African stories that matter. Tsepiso Makwetla on Africa World Hour.
I mean, we're seeing South Africa face challenges in the enforcement of an NHI plan. The Minister of Health is contending with legal action. There might be a will, but there would be opposition. And what is most important is the issue of equitable health services. How do we make sure that those policies translate into that?
Let me just give you a real example. In 1926, Japan started to discuss about primary healthcare and universal health coverage. By 1961, Japan was fully with universal health coverage. Do you know how long they live? They've got the longest lifespan in the world. So it's not theory anymore. In any country during COVID, if you remember 4 years ago, which fared well, there are those countries which had a very strong primary healthcare system. Because when we say health sovereignty, it's not about closing the doors to the partners. No, this is a process. But we need to give where our priorities, what can we do more with less?
Regional Director for Africa, Professor Mohammed Jacob.
Late night with Tsepiso Makwetla. End your day inspired by Africa World Hour on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Téléchargez l'application Channel Africa sur votre Play Store ou Apple Store afin de pouvoir suivre toutes nos émissions en direct de là où vous vous trouvez. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Sit down on it, fine girl. Sit down on it. Every other day, just sit down on it.
Top, yeah. Boy. Tell me, baby girl, how you do? Oh? Baby, tell me, make I know how you do. Oh? Baby, tell me how much I go pay. Oh? I will go fly, go anywhere for holiday. Oh? This love, now one Angola. This love, now one thing, yo. They could play like with the movie, yo. They can play where you go, they play mommy, oh. Mommy, oh, mommy, oh, mommy, oh. Girl, now me go, they play daddy, oh. Girl, if you be baby, I be nanny, oh. See how she fine like a banyo, yeah. Show my kalangolo, oh. Why, show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving. Show my kalangolo, oh. Why, show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving.
Anywhere you day, I go there, oh. Long as I day with my baby, oh. Waiting them don't know them boy here too. Kiss me, baby, make them vex you. Carry the matter for their head, you. Please me, baby, make I rest you. Nobody do me like you do. Kiss me, baby, make them vex you. This love, now Walangolo. This love, now one ting yo. This love, now Walangolo. This love, now one ting yo.
Baby girl, I love you, sit down on it. Baby girl, come run up on it. I know you love this beat, sweet melanin. Oh, Ghana, you could be my sweet senorita. American girl, come wine up for me. My Jamaican girls, come wine up for me. My Jota girls, come wine up for me. My Caribbean girls, come bust up for me. Yo, show my kalangolo, oh. Why, show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving.
London boy, come give it to me. All my Lagos boys, them spend it on me. Jamaican boys, them jam it for me. My American boys, them swag it for me, yeah.
Show my kalangolo, oh. Why, show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving.
This love, now Walangolo. This love, now one ting yo.
This is DJ Spinall with Wizkid and Tiwa Savage. This Love. It's 10:53 Central Africa time. We are going into some music in the next hour of the show.
Yeah, love that. We'll be finding out what's happening this weekend in Johannesburg, South Africa. Jazz in the Lights, which is one of the attractive festivals right here in the city that we're broadcasting from. We'll be speaking to Dumza Maswana, who fuses tradition, spirituality, jazz and soul, and they'll be part of this wonderful festivity.
Indeed they will, and we'll get to speak to them right before the big event tomorrow here on The Move, just in a couple of minutes in the next hour of the show. So if you have questions, especially if you are a jazz lover like Benjamin and I, then we'd love to hear from them. Oh, sir, please. We have a WhatsApp line, +2783 288 6684, and we'd love to chat to you there. You can send us a voice note or a text, but also our comment section on our Facebook live stream and on our YouTube live stream.
Start your day right with Channel Africa Breakfast.
That smells delicious.
Live, 5 days a week. Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa on the move.
Been on the road for a while, brother, you know why. 247, I'm moving, so I go day alright. Dreams untold every day, I don't need to tell no one. Or up Bobby with Solomon, I don't want to hear trilogy no more. Skating is a lifestyle, skating is a part of me, Skating is a lifestyle, skating is a part of me. Them know it's a part of me, it's a part of energy. Too much steez, mama shako. Before them wake up, jalo. Still to speed, want to follow. Back, baby, shin low. Still on still, I just stack up. Kunita phone, I want power. They me sound, nibo sibo. On a flipping level, more sexy. You know bad man too, jiggy. You live for 2 pack, my lottery see. Can't do life for my enemies. Any day you see the boy, it's a good vibe. Every money getting money, then we flipping. Shut down on the city, good time with the city. Skating is a lifestyle. Skating is a part of me. Skating is a lifestyle. Skating is a part of me. Skating is a lifestyle. Skating is a part of me. Skating is a lifestyle. Skating is a part of me. Chasing my dreams. If I can't balance, shall I? You got take it easy, my G. If I give you space, it is not my fault. I say nobody perfect. Sometimes I want in my zone, I want zone out, waiting at the reason I can't tell. I be make I play you the cassette. Oh no. Getting paid, baby Chico. Power play, baby Wacko. It's a speed, man, I feel good. Skating is a lifestyle. Skating is a part of me.
Would you try it, Benjamin? Skating?
Yeah. In my past life.
That's a psyche with skating. What do you mean in your past life? You still got it. Actually, I could buy you a skateboard for your birthday. Do you want one?
Come on, bring it on.
Okay, let's do it. All right, we're moving on. We're going into some music, speaking all things jazz and the lights, but also speaking to this incredible musician who'll be joining us in the next hour of the show by the name of Dumza Maswana. And he'll be joining us to speak about his music, his journey. Also, like, it's beautiful to see how a lot of African jazz is very different from jazz in other parts of the world, because we have that spirituality element that I think really stands out than when you listen to jazz in other parts of the. So there's language usage, there's that spirituality usage, African spirituality usage in our jazz music, that soul element. It's really beautiful, and we'll experience what goes on behind the artist in just a couple of minutes. So stay with us. Of course, we are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube pages. There's a great comment section there where you can let us know where you are listening to us from, anywhere on the continent and anywhere in the world. And of course, giving us thoughts on the conversations of the day. Had a great one in the beginning of the show on abstract art. And if you are a lover of all things art, our Friday shows are definitely for you. Tell us what you think about abstract art and how you like to absorb and really become an audience to that kind of art. And then we went and spoke about the things that are changing on the social media landscape. And if you've been struggling like me a little bit, honestly, well, a lot of bit,
a lot of bits,
but you can also let us know what your experiences have been in the ever-changing landscape of social media. But let's go back to our news desk so we can head on into our next hour.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Top stories. A Sawa call for South Africa's police minister to be sacked, and the European Commission stands in solidarity with Gulf partners as Iran strikes regional energy infrastructure. Good morning. I'm Jonani Tulo Mwepe. The Congress of the People Party, or COPE, in South Africa is calling for President Cyril Ramaphosa to fire Police Minister Senzo Mchunu immediately. This follows revelations that Mchunu, who is currently on special leave, unilaterally disbanded the Political Killings Task Team without consulting President Ramaphosa. COPE says Mchunu's actions show poor judgment and a lack of accountability, and that his removal is necessary to restore public trust in the police leadership. COPE's acting national chairperson is Pegs Dikgetsi.
This fuels perceptions of incompetence, and it actually also fuels the public perception and the distance between leadership and what people experience on the ground. The president has known since February last year. He never took the nation into his confidence. He never ensured that he runs a proper, clean government that can instill confidence. And this is a really very serious dereliction of duty on behalf of the president.
Still in South Africa, the Activists and Citizens Forum is demanding an investigation into possible corruption by a top official at the Moshatama prison in Pretoria, following allegations of a close relationship with the alleged cartel member, Vusumuzi Kat Matlala. This after Lieutenant General Ndandla Mkhwanazi told a parliamentary committee that Matlala received preferential treatment, including access to a cell phone while at the facility. Matlala was transferred to a maximum security prison in Kokstad in the KwaZulu-Natal province in December. Matlala is a tender tycoon and a criminal suspect known for his involvement in large state contracts. Activists and Citizens Forum spokesperson Dennis Bloom.
We are not surprised by what General Ndandla Mkhwanazi told the Parliamentary Ad hoc Committee, that a senior head of CMEX in Pretoria is giving Kat Matlala preferential treatment above all other inmates there, awaiting trial inmates. That is totally wrong and unacceptable. That's why we are calling for the minister to immediately suspend this head of Moshatama.
The African Transformation Movement Party in South Africa is calling for an investigation into the reported coronation of a Nigerian king in Kukombo City, formerly known as East London. The party says the move undermines South Africa's laws and traditional leadership institutions. The ATM is urging authorities, including Premier Oscar Mabuyane and Home Affairs Minister Dr. Leon Schreiber, to look into the matter. ATM parliamentary leader is Vuyo Zungula.
You could declare yourself a king in a place whereby the land has no history, does not belong to anyone. But when we speak about Kukombo, formerly known as East London, that is the land of Amaxhosa, and that is a land whereby currently there is a king there. Now, to have someone coming from Nigeria undermine South Africa as a sovereign country, undermine real leadership in the sense that there is a Xhosa king there, and declares himself a king of East London. It is a blatant disregard and disrespect to South Africa as a country, to our institution of real leadership.
The British government has agreed a deal with Nigeria to make it easier to remove people with no right to be in the UK. For the first time, the Nigerian government will recognise UK letters, an identification document issued to individuals without a valid passport. This means people will no longer have to wait for emergency travel documents to be issued before they can be returned. The agreement was struck during President Bola Tinubu's state visit to the UK. Prime Minister Keir Starmer hailed the President's visit, the first by a leader of a West African nation in 37 years, as historic. And finally, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says the EU stands in solidarity with Gulf partners as Iran's strikes on regional energy infrastructure drive oil and gas prices to double their pre-war levels. She said the EU leaders were preparing emergency measures to shield consumers from spiraling energy costs. Speaking after a Brussels summit, von der Leyen announced more than $500 million in humanitarian assistance for the Middle East region and warned that the crisis posed growing risks far beyond the region itself.
The situation in the region is extremely serious. It is causing great instability, suffering, and growing risks far beyond the region itself. And this is why we need de-escalation and maximum restraint, the protection of civilians and civilian infrastructure. And I want to say a word about our partners and friends in the Gulf and the broader region. We stand with them in solidarity and in friendship. The European Union is supporting them.
Recapping the top story this hour, the Congress of the People Party in South Africa is calling for President Cyril Ramaphosa to fire Police Minister Senzo Mchunu immediately. This follows revelations that Mchunu, who is currently on special leave, unilaterally disbanded the political killings task team without consulting President Ramaphosa. For any news stories you would like to share with us, please do send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I'm Cholani Tulo Wepe.
SABC News. The African Perspective. On the Move with Benjamin and Palesa every weekday on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
It is the third hour. Time flies when you're having fun, and we are certainly having loads of fun with you today on The Move. It is the Friday edition. We're speaking all things art, and as usual, our final hour we go into the music. There's this incredible annual event taking place in the Johannesburg Zoo tomorrow called Jazz in the Lights. Self-explanatory, right? Beautiful lights, great outdoors, and beautiful jazz music. And one of the artists that will be featured in tomorrow's lineup goes by the name of Dumza Maswana, who'll be chatting to us in this hour of the show.
Yeah, you can catch us on social media at Channel Africa on Facebook and Channel Africa 1 on all other platforms. Channel Africa, first with the global story. And remember that we do it in an African way. This is Channel Africa. Do stay with us.
I told you, man. It's King Tick Pandemics.
She money pass her peace of mind. She got a man, but he had no mind. The pass love, baby, don't be stingy. The way you phone now, can't you see? Baby, baby. Osani see you, no see long way. Baby, baby. Osani panga, chipuba, Superman. Nini na power, monga Superman. I'm gonna protect you, monga Superman. Kina olimba, monga Superman. Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. You what she touch it, deliver. Give it what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. Deliver.
Shot caller, big baller. My lady's coming to want more. She love the way I put it down, but even more, she love my aura. Shake like thunder, beat like drummer. This right here is a la summer. Somebody please call emergency. The way the girl is hurting me, yeah. I like her, she a freaker. My wife, she a keeper. No one like her, she a sniper. My type of ghetto diva. I like her, she a freaker. My wife, she a keeper. No one like her, she a sniper. My type of ghetto diva. Superman. Shawty say you want a Superman. Baby, you know you a superwoman. So you and I could be the super friends. Maybe I'm a lover, maybe I'm a pleaser. Give it to you harder, never will I tease you. Eat it like salad, call that a season. So when I'm in Rome, you should follow the leader. Give me what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. You watch it, touch it, deliver. Give me what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader.
Superman, Nini na power monga Superman. I'm gonna protect you monga Superman.
Save me, Superman. Yo Maps featuring Omarion with Superman, 11:10 Central Africa time.
The rhythm of Africa, the pulse of the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa is changing, and the world is paying attention. This March, Channel Africa invites you to be part of a new conversation. Africa Matters. A platform where experts, policymakers, and thought leaders come together to unpack the big issues of our time. Technology, politics, economics, climate change, and the future of our people. This is where ideas meet action, where change becomes opportunity, where Africa's voice takes its rightful place on the global stage. In March 2026, Channel Africa hosts Africa Climate Change Recovery Summit. Join the dialogue. Be part of the movement. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa
On the move.
Ça va bouger. On veut entendre tout le monde. Avec quoi un scalp? Incontournable. Number one. Ah! Uno! Hana! Uno! Hana! Uno! Hana! Uno! Accompagne yo! C'est qui ça? Mais le gars, tu fais quoi? Oh! Debout là-bas là! Debout! J'ai pour nous bêter, tu veux les coups.
On a tout fait, on a parlé, oh yeah. On a tout fait, on a crié, oh yeah. Mais vraiment rien n'a changé, oh yeah. En tout cas rien n'a changé, oh yeah. On va bouger.
À bouger.
On va bouger. Bouger. Ah, on va bouger.
C'est la maladie du bouger. J'ai pour nous bêter, tu veux les coups. Oh, yeah.
On va bouger. On va bouger.
On y va.
On a tout fait, on a parlé, oh yeah. On a tout fait, on a crié, oh yeah. Mais vraiment rien n'a changé, oh yeah. En tout cas rien n'a changé, oh yeah. On va bouger. 9 to 12 midday, Central African Time.
On the move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
Wendombazana enhle enomkhithi
Chita exigisi weyomolo Bija bija yazichija iziqenya ngobuhle bayo Gumdaka bani lo uthi xa etheqe kusuke kukhanye Yabobotheka indoda incumancumeza ingangacholi naphansi Molo 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 ntombazana Molo 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 ntombi Molo 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 ntombazana Madoda kuwelelani ngowamlo uzabhaya Indoda ekrokayo dateza kwindonga qula kwedini Madoda kuwelelani
Ooh, what a beautiful voice. Well known for the singular depth of his soothing baritone voice is Dumza Maswana. This one is titled Molo. He fuses tradition, spirituality, soul, and jazz to create sonic experiences that uplift, inspire, and heal. And Dumza will be one of the incredible artists who'll be performing tomorrow at the Johannesburg Zoo for the Jazz in the Lights annual concert. Dumza, thank you so much for your time and, of course, blessing us with this incredible music. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me.
It is a pleasure indeed. Let's find out a little bit more about Dumza Maswana for those who are hearing this incredible voice and your voice for the first time as well. Give us a little bit of background on where you're from, but also how you started getting into the music.
So I was born in Pedi, in the Eastern Cape, rural Eastern Cape, and I was raised by my grandmother, who was my first teacher. She taught me how to sing, how to tell stories, and how to clap and dance at the same time. And I'm not even sure that she was teaching me necessarily, but she was just living. She was just doing her thing, raising her grandson. So I was raised in that community of singers. There were churches, there were imicimbi, ceremonies, traditional ceremonies. And the only thing I think I knew at that time, it was just, ingomas, church songs and those indigenous songs or traditional songs in the village. So that's how I grew up. And then later on, I would, sing in church choirs and at school as well. So Dumza Maswana is made up of all those elements.
Yeah, I mean, that's fascinating, right? Let's go back to your grandmother's influence. Tell us a little bit more about that. How did she take your singing seriously? Because it's usually the people in our lives that affirm us, and that affirmation creates a pathway for our future.
I don't even think that my grandmother was grooming me for music. I don't think she was just teaching me how, but she was just, it was just a thing that we do at home. For instance, she would tell me stories, tales, and there would be a song in those tales, lullabies and so on. Because most of the time she wanted me to sleep because I was a very crazy child. I wouldn't want to sleep, so she would tell me those stories, then I would sleep. And I think to this day, that's how I sleep. I have to listen to something that's speaking than singing. If I'm listening to music, I'll be awake. But if I listen to a podcast, then I would be able to sleep. So I don't think my grandmother was doing that. I think she was just, just showing me how to live in elalini yethu. But I think I'm grateful because abanye abantu from the village, they noticed that I was musically gifted, and then they taught me, more songs, even in Entlombeni, as in this spiritual ceremonies by Amagrecha. I would be the one who's leading the songs there.
Wow.
And they would just choose me. It doesn't matter where Igrecha comes from. I would be that kid that would be chosen to lead Ingoma Zamagler.
It sounds like you were chosen musically from a very young age, and everyone could recognize the gift and the talents that you have. And you sang in all those spaces, the healing spaces, the traditional spaces, the gospel spaces, and then you decided to come to Johannesburg to pursue your musical journey. How did you fall into the lap of jazz?
So when I left the village, I went to Ektabecha, Port Elizabeth, and that's where I met my mentor, Bongani Tulwana, who saw the potential in me. At the time, I was in Bible school. So on Mondays, I would not go to school. So on Mondays, I would go to his studio, and he would teach me these jazz songs. I mean, for a child from the villages, a jazz song was something that I could not really understand. I would be really bored. But as the time went on, I realized, that this is a beautiful sound indeed. And then later on, the same mentor took me to Johannesburg to live with his friends, and he really believed that I would become something. I would be able to maneuver my way in Johannesburg, because I didn't know anyone at the time. And then I was, I think within 3 months in Johannesburg, I had my own band, and I was performing in restaurants and so on, so that's how I grew. I always say to people that Johannesburg was my university, because that's where I really learned everything.
All right, fantastic. Stay there on the line. We're looking forward to finding out more about you, Dumza. Just we need to go to a break. We're speaking to Dumza Maswana, who is going to be performing at the Jazz in the Lights that returns at Johannesburg Zoo tomorrow. And definitely it will be a transformation of the city's loved green space, celebrating music, culture, and connection.
Channel Africa and you have got something in common. The thirst for knowledge.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Step into the heart of the day on the move with Palesa and Benjamin.
He is known for the preservation of the Xhosa heritage through modern jazz and soul. That's Dumza Maswana, who's joining us today. And we heard a very lovely introduction to his music as we started the conversation. And we've been speaking about his grandmother's influence, his early career, how he started. Let's see if we can get things going. Dumza, you also seem to have started in a different genre. Tell us a little bit about that. Is it true that you started in R&B?
So I think in the late or early 2000s, music on the radio at the time, it was mostly soul and R&B. And I was a huge fan of D'Angelo, Erykah Badu, and Jill Scott.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you can go back and listen to my early demos, even though I get really
cringy,
I don't even want to listen to those songs. So
we all start somewhere.
And in my broken English, I would write new lyrics, love songs, and so that's how I started.
Sure.
But at the same time, there was that church foundation in my music. So, and I mean, for that matter, it was very hard for me to even really write love songs. I would, in the middle of a love song, say Jesus, because I was a church kid. So that's how I started. But I think as I was trying to find my voice, very much later on in life, actually, even after my album Molo, I went to, because when I recorded Molo,
sure,
I was part of an orchestra that was paying tribute to Victor Ndoni, You know, the guy who sings "Yini sendihleli ndinjena ngosizi."
In fact,
So
your voice sounds very like his. You just did that very
I
well.
know. I know, because especially when I was recording Molo, I was from that. I just realized that my voice actually is fine the way it is. You know, from that orchestra that was paying tribute to him, I was doing most of the songs by the Tandoni. So now, for me, it was like, you know, a new revelation. Oh, my voice, my bass is appealing. People love it. You know, so I was like, then I wrote songs like Molo. But I think later on, I was like, okay, I enjoy this, but at the same time, I think I do have my own voice. Then I went back to my grandmother's rendezvous, you know, to really go back and listen to my grandmother, and that's where I am now.
You know, it sounds like it has been quite a journey for you, that journey of finding your voice. And even when you found like the genres that you want to dabble with, there's still a spiritual finding as well. And that's how you blend that spiritual element, that soul element so beautifully with jazz. Why is that important to you? I mean, I see this great image of you playing this traditional instrument. I forgot what it's called. And I think that just embodies so beautifully. What is it called?
Uadi.
Uadi, yes. And I see you
it's like,
playing
it's like a bow. It's like a bow and calabash. Yes.
Correct. And so beautiful, because there's that blend of traditional African spirituality that goes into jazz. Why that sound?
I think that's a sound that chose me, you know, from a young age. You know, like I said, that my grandmother was really is a foundation of my music. So later on, after learning all these other things, you know, the jazz and so on, I wanted to go back, and I started learning Uadi. And I can tell you that with Uadi, I'm home. You know, I don't feel like I'm singing to impress. You know, I'm not singing to impress. I'm just being myself, which is the most beautiful thing, the most liberating thing, when you don't have to dig so deep, you know, so that people can be happy. You do what you know, what's in you. You know, so I enjoy being there.
And there's still a lot of work that you love doing around your Xhosa culture. I know that advocacy of culture is very important to you, and language is something that is something that you hold dear. Tell us a little bit about the Eziko Village tour, because I know that there was a unique way of performing in a village environment. It's almost like you were returning to your source, where the music actually comes from.
Yes, Eziko is like you say, is like it's a homecoming for me. You know, going back to my roots. But how I started Eziko, I felt guilty, you know, because when I started speaking, it was I started singing before I could talk, you know, and so everything that I know, it was from the villages. The music, the language, the knowledge that I have was from Emakaya. So my guilt was that they don't have access to my music, and sometimes I feel like they don't know how they sound, you know, because when we learn from them, and then we go to other places. I always make this example of my father, who was worked in mines. He could not even afford, you know, like a 9-carat bracelet. After he was the one who was doing. So I felt like I was like that gold that they cannot afford anymore. So I went to the villages now to say to them, this is how you sound. This is your music. This is your language. This is everything you taught me. And I thought I was just going there to just give them the music, but I even learned more. So I went village to village. I stripped down the music that I was doing, and I just used Oadi and the guitar, you know, to give it them as authentic and raw. And it grew to something else. I mean, at this point, I'm working on a new album that it will be Uadi, and the guitar will be the what is this thing? English at this time of the day, you know.
No, we understand.
So basically, you'll be stripping things down to those kind of acoustic sounds, right?
Yes, when I'm doing Eziko. So Eziko is not just I mean, it's both a sound, but at the same time, it's Eziko is around the fire, because that's where I remember everything. It's a place of remembrance. It's a homecoming where, I mean, Eziko is like around the fire where my grandmother would teach me the songs. I would be reprimanded there. I would be affirmed around the fire, and I would be waiting for food. So that is why I'm saying that is a very beautiful space for me. I enjoy being there.
Well, thank you so much, Dumza. What an incredible space that you'll be performing in tomorrow. Tell us about your feelings of performing tomorrow at Jazz in the Lights.
Man, I'm so excited. First of all, I'm right now. I'm with Utlale Machene, who's playing percussion. I'm with Dalisun Ndlazi, who's playing bass, and I have Siphelelo Mazibuko on drums. And I have my pianist, Thokozis Mabuza, and Sakile Simane from PE. And I'm playing with such amazing musicians. It's like, I was rehearsing, and my music feels like new. It's come tomorrow, come tomorrow and see what's going to happen.
Oh, love that. We really hope that we will be there.
I can't even describe the feeling.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dumza, for your time. Where can we go to find you on social media?
Dumza Maswana everywhere. At Dumza Maswana, TikTok, Facebook, Yonge Indo, X. Yes, Dumza Maswana everywhere.
And
you can
so
even
much.
check my live performances on YouTube as well.
Lovely. That's Dumza Maswana joining us here on The Move. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully you are able to catch him tomorrow at the Jazz in the Lights. It's almost 11:30 Central Africa time as we wrap up with this great music by Dumza Maswana. This one is titled Vumani in the background.
Vumani abashabe ngoma Vumana abashabe ngoma Siza kuvumazi.
It's 11:30 Central Africa time. Let's get our latest sports news with Figile Lingwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Let's start off with football news. With just 83 days left before the start of this year's FIFA World Cup in the Americas, Bafana Bafana coach Hugo Broos has put some of his cards on the table. But he made it clear no one is guaranteed a place in the final World Cup squad. Bafana Bafana will be back in action after being inactive for almost 3 months. Broos made several surprise inclusions in his 23-player squad for 2 international friendlies against Panama later this month. 7 players who were overlooked for the AFCON squad earlier this year have made a return to the team: Themba Zwane and Thapelo Masego. The 73-year-old Belgian expects his team to bounce back after a disappointing AFCON in Morocco earlier this year.
One word, disappointing. I was very disappointed after the tournament. We didn't achieve what we wanted, first of all. Secondly, level of the games we played was not what we were used to. And there are several reasons, but I think the most important reason was that during all the camp and the AFCON, I didn't feel what I call the Bafana DNA. So quality, mentality, discipline, it was not there. Why? Okay, I know why, but I don't want to go in details.
Also omitted is Orlando Pirates' number 1 keeper, Sipho Chain. His praise went to 28-year-old Sekhukhune United shortstopper Ronaldo Lina. Broos explained his decision to go with Lina alongside his captain Ronwin Williams and Ricardo Goss.
I think Lina is always on the list of the preliminary list, and I think it was a good occasion now to get him with us. He was already with us a few months ago, but I want to see him again, and we will see what that gives. And I don't say that Sipho is not performing, but everybody has to be worried that it's not a charity. It's something that is very serious.
The FIFA Council has approved groundbreaking regulations to reshape the future of women's football, requiring female representation in team leadership across all FIFA women's competitions. From this year, every team must include at least 2 female staff on the bench, with 1 serving as head coach or assistant coach. The rule will debut at the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Poland this September and extend to all youth, senior national and club tournaments, including the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. The initiative forms part of the FIFA's wider women's football strategy, which has already supported nearly 800 female coaches worldwide through scholarships, mentorships, and development programs. More football news. Iranian Football Federation President Mehdi Taj says they will boycott the United States, but not the World Cup. Iran are scheduled to play their group matches in the US in this summer's tournament. Iran's Football Federation said this week it had open talks with FIFA about potentially relocating the team's matches from the US to Mexico, though the global governing body has maintained that the tournament's schedule remains unchanged. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum said on Tuesday that her country was prepared to host Iran's first-round matches if required, owing to the conflict in the Middle East. Iran's participation in the finals in the US, Canada and Mexico has been in doubt since the US and Israel launched airstrikes on the country last month, with President Donald Trump warning that the safety of Iranian players will be at the risk if they travel to the tournament. And finally, Zimbabwean athlete Fortunate Chizivo returns to the Two Oceans at scene of greatest victory. The 2026 Total Sports Two Oceans Marathon will be held on the 11th and 12th of April in Cape Town, featuring the 56-kilometer ultra-marathon on Saturday and the 21.1-kilometer half-marathon on Sunday. Though Chizivo may be on the verge of 40, having celebrated her 39th birthday on Monday, there's every chance that the top runner from Zimbabwe can produce the kind of performance that saw her win the Two Oceans half-marathon title in 2022. That year, Chizivo fell ill before the start of the race, but somehow managed to lead from start to finish in what was the biggest achievement of her career on the road. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Fidel Nwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
The whole population of Africa has been shocked to the depth of its soul.
For 60 years, Channel Africa has been the voice that connects the continent, telling our stories and sharing our vision with the world. This year, we mark 6 decades of broadcast excellence.
60 years of stories, sound, and connection.
6 years of African conversations that matter.
This is 60 years of broadcast excellence.
Rooted in Africa's heartbeat and looking boldly into the future. Join Channel Africa as we celebrate 60 years of broadcasting. Still strong, still vibrant, and still giving you the African perspective.
Channel Africa.
Hashtag on the move and connect with us.
Nosipho Zuma is back with our latest business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Palesa. Good morning. In your business news, this hour, a South African President, Cyril Ramaphosa, says a rogue criminal justice system can be detrimental to the country's economic growth and job creation. He says the value of commissions such as the State Capture Commission and the Madlanga Commission probing allegations of corruption and mismanagement in the police will soon be realized by many South Africans. Ramaphosa was speaking at the On the Record Jobs Summit in Cape Town yesterday. The two-day summit, convened under the theme 5 million jobs in 10 years, brings together South African business people and civil society representatives to discuss solutions to create more jobs. Ramaphosa says a high crime rate can discourage businesses from investing.
What Madlanga Commission is doing is giving us a great opportunity to overhaul our police system, our criminal justice system, to clean it out, to get all the thugs and the rogues out of the system, because in the end, passive crime, which has been happening, breeds fear and mistrust. It has both a devastating human cost and a direct economic impact as well.
Economist Dr. Frederick Kirsten has warned that the increase in electricity prices in South Africa may affect job security, as some small business owners may struggle to keep their businesses afloat. The National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, has officially approved an 8.76% tariff increase for Eskom's direct customers, effective from the 1st of next month. Now, municipal customers will face an even larger increase of 9% starting in July. Kirsten says while larger businesses might be able to find alternatives to mitigate the impact, small businesses may struggle to find solutions.
The small businesses are seen as the lifeline of the South African economy in terms of creating new jobs. They are the innovators, they are the entrepreneurs that come in and want to start a business, start employing people in the area. And then when they fail, then there's those 5 to 10 to 20 jobs that gets lost. And I think that's so important that we need to think about that, as in South Africa, the middle class is very vulnerable. And if you add SMEs to trying to make it, and these vulnerable middle class trying to make it, if they shut down, then a lot of jobs get lost with that.
Ghana's cocoa industry is facing a deepening crisis as licensed buyers lack funds to purchase beans from farmers despite a recent government price cut. Now, this is according to sources close to Reuters. Disbursement from market regulator Cocoa Board are reportedly clearing old debts for delivered beans, not funding new purchases. The government cut the fixed farmer price by almost 30% earlier this month, but the new price of $3.797 per metric ton remains above global prices of around $3,200, giving international traders little incentive to buy. Facebook is offering larger influencers $3,000 a month to post on the platform as part of its content fast track program. The social media giant, which has over 3 billion users, says the scheme is for creators with over 1 million followers on the other video sharing sites, citing Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube in the scheme's announcement. Parent company Meta says it paid out nearly $3 billion to creators in 2025 through monetization programs, says Jordan Schwarzenberger, a manager of content creators, the Sidemen. And finally, a number of Gulf countries are again coming under attack from drones and missiles fired by Iran. In Kuwait, local media reports that multiple drone attacks have caused a fire at the Mina al-Hamadi oil refinery, leading for the closure of several of its units. The UAE and Bahrain said they were dealing with the fallout of similar attacks. The BBC's Nick Mesh has the details.
The long-term picture is looking pretty shaky. We've just had reports out of Kuwait about an attack on one of its refineries. Attacks are still happening on infrastructure. The Strait of Hormuz, and plans to somehow get traffic moving through that more freely. If that happens, that'll be a huge relief. But if the attacks on the actual infrastructure continues, and it continues to wipe out output capabilities like we've seen in Qatar, then you've got a more serious long-term problem when it comes to the global energy supply.
Your financial indicators: one US dollar in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 355, and Botswana is 13 pula 42. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 52, and in Zambia it's 19 kwacha 48. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 rupee 20. Russia is 83 rubles 18. India is 92 rupees 71. China is 6 yuan 88. And in South Africa, $1 is trading at 16 rand 76. $1 is trading at 75 pence to the British pound and 86 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $4,719 and platinum at $2,008 per ounce, while the price of Brent crude oil is at $106.76 a barrel. Now, for any business news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Nusi Pozuma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África, com Remo Samo e João Yabalá.
O conflito militar envolvendo o Irão, os Estados Unidos e Israel provocou uma escalada acentuada nos preços do petróleo, especialmente devido à ameaça de interrupção do tráfego pelo Estreito de Hormuz, responsável por cerca de 20% do consumo mundial de crudo. Para países africanos dependentes de importações de energia, esta tensão não é apenas um problema econômico, mas também social, com impactos potenciais sobre inflação, custos de produção e acesso a combustíveis essenciais. Para perceber os riscos e possíveis respostas, falamos com o Dr. Lutumba Simão, economista angolano.
Para os países exportadores, vão verificar uma receita mais alta do que previam. E do ponto de vista de custo para as populações, vamos identificar que também pode aumentar a inflação, principalmente naqueles países onde, de facto, importam o crude e os combustíveis derivados do petróleo bruto.
De segunda a sexta-feira, das 20 às 21 horas locais, este é o Caleidoscópio do Canal África.
We are on OpenView's audio bouquet. Channel 628.
Ginger me with pillow talking pretty things. Oh, ginger me by candlelight and long walks by the lagoon. Ginger me with intellect and wine. Ginger me, boy, with kindness and cool. Ginger me slowly. Yes, ginger me slowly. Ginger me with poetry and roses in the afternoon. Ginger me with trips to Monaco and to the Nile. Ginger me with power and humility. Oh, ginger me, boy. Ginger me with your love. Ginger me slowly. Yes, ginger me slowly. Take your time, hold me closer, show me your heart and I'll show you mine. Slow it down, hold me longer, I'll be your girl if we do it slowly. Ginger me with unexpected kisses and a dance. Ginger me with breakfast in bed for just us two. Ginger me with dreams of love and faithfulness. Ginger me, boy, with your heart, boy. Ginger me slowly. Yes, ginger me slowly. Slow down, 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 slow
Download the SABC app and take Channel Africa with you everywhere you go.
Oh, this double play gave me life. Beautiful voices of two incredible women. Shekinah and Kyle Dutch with Back to the Beach. And before that, we gave you Ginger Me Slowly by Somi. It certainly is one of my favorite songs right now. It's 11:50 Central Africa time. Stay with us before we say goodbye here on the Move.
For 60 years, Channel Africa has connected the continent. Celebrate the journey. Celebrate the African perspective.
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Inaelezwa kwamba serikali kule visiwani Zanzibar imetangaza mpango mkubwa wa kuweza kurejesha urithi unaoungwa mkono na uwekezaji wa sekta ya umma na binafsi yenye thamani ya dola milioni 12. Unadhani sasa Zanzibar imeamua kujipambanua yenyewe kama yenyewe?
Hizi ni habari njema. Hizi ni habari njema kwanza katika kuongeza uwekezaji kwenye sekta ya utalii, miongoni mwa sekta mama kwa serikali ya mapinduzi ya Zanzibar.
Pengine unawaambia nini Watanzania walioko nje ya Tanzania na walioko ndani kuweza kuzitizama fursa hizi kwa jicho la pili na kuweza kuwekeza ndani?
Jambo hili lina mtazamo mpana. Cha kwanza ni aina ya maisha ambayo baadhi ya watu visiwani Zanzibar wamekuwa nayo, na hii ni kutokana na ile colonial legacy, ile kutawaliwa na wenzetu wametawaliwa na masultani.
Darubini ya Afrika kila Jumatatu hadi Ijumaa kuanzia saa 11 kamili hadi saa 12 kamili jioni majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa on the Move.
We wrap up with another incredible woman by the name of Zonke Dikana.
Oh, we love her. Throwback to when we interviewed her. It's so much fun.
We had
Super
so much
soulful
fun.
lady.
We did. That's what it's called, Tonight. And tonight we won't be here, but you can stay here on Channel Africa as well. We are saying goodbye and leaving you in the safe hands of Lulu Gabu, who'll be giving you the Africa update.
All right, man. It's goodbye from us. Have a good weekend, everyone. God bless.
Have a good one. Bye.
Get set and be ready to go. On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
And I've been living fast life, but I see it in slow. Oh no, and you see my lifestyle, I got G's in the double. See many people there outside where they feed man's oboe. Oh no, and me I stand the defender like Joseph Yobo. But girl say she want Netflix and chill, so I chatty get even warning. If you fall in love, Kelly satin, you go to breakfast, I'm not capping. Can you see dripple, I'm not catching. I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm a quest and feet, I just want it. Happiness. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you go right. All I care for the night. Happiness. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you go right. All I care for the night.
F-I-N-E-S-S-E, if it be the reason why your baba want to jealous me. If you want to take as I do top speed, no fit to resonate, I'm on a different frequency. I don't think it's necessary. I be done with somebody that could do like me. When I be like Musala coming off the right wing, I cut to your defender, you no need to tell me. I'm a horse, finesse. And you know send me, I must not. Now you can let I go carry go. If me, I got money past you. If you're not careful, finesse. You know, send me a must not. Like a I go carry go. If me, I got money past you. If you're not careful,
finesse. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you go right. All I care for the night. Finesse. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you go right. All I care for the night. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you go right. All I care for the night. Happiness. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you go right. All I care for the night.
The right wing, I cut to your defender, you no need to tell me. I'm a horse, finesse. And you know send me, I'm a